which teaching videos are going to be the ones that best help you improve your drawing. As an artist and a teacher, these are the things I believe we should be looking for in a video that we're watching to learn how to draw. And the first is, we want videos that have an emphasis on teaching us, on explaining to us how to think, the creative thought processes that go on before we put marks on paper. Because the marks on paper come from how we're thinking. And if we don't learn how to think, then we don't know where to put the marks, why to put them here or there. We can watch videos that show us where to put the marks, and we can copy along with that. But without understanding why those choices are being made, we're left mystified when we go to do our own original drawing. And we feel limited to simply copying other drawings line by line. So because the creative process in drawing starts with creative thinking, when we learn to draw, our learning needs to start with learning about this creative thinking, what it is, how we can develop it and grow it just as much, and probably before we start learning about putting marks anywhere. My second point is we need to watch videos that understand the learning process. It's not just the drawing component that's important in these videos, but it's also videos that are within a framework that understand that learning, that teaching to learn, is in itself a skill. That when people train to become educators, they're learning the skill of the learning process and the teaching process, regardless of what subject is going to be taught. If I truly want to learn from the videos I watch, it's going to be far more productive in the long run if they've been framed and organized around what creates a good learning process, a good learning environment, rather than entertainment, or rather than fitting within a certain time frame. There's nothing wrong with watching videos which are created to entertain as much, if not more, than teach. But if I'm wanting to learn to draw, watching videos that are more devoted to the learning process and that understand the learning process are going to be more productive with my drawing for the time I put into watching them. Thirdly, my time is going to be most productively used in watching videos that encourage skill development, that break down what's being demonstrated into more fundamental skills. But equally important, don't just teach these skills in isolation, in little thumbnail drawings, almost doodles, putting half a dozen lines together in a certain way, but rather break things down to smaller units, to smaller skills, but also then integrate these skills, combine these different techniques and ways of thinking to create more complex, more sophisticated outcomes. And that's why a lot of the videos of 10 drawing tips, which end up being 10 often very obvious tips, where the technique is very much demonstrated in 15 seconds in isolation from any real drawing, can leave us feeling like we've learned something, but not actually be terribly useful when we next go to draw, because we don't know how to apply this. It hasn't been part of the tip. I think this point is very important, and that is, if we're going to watch videos with drawing, then we need to see the reference that the artist is using to draw from. There is extremely limited value in watching anything where all we see is what's being drawn. Often we don't even have any idea whether the artist is creating this from their imagination or using a reference which is off camera. But either way, we're still left having no idea of what the process of thinking is. When we can see the reference and see the drawing that the artist is creating, even if nothing is actually said, we can hopefully, at least in part, understand the thought processes, the translation that's happening, why the artist is using these marks Well, it's because when they look at this thing, this is how they are translating it from the reference to the drawing. When the drawing just appears, there is extremely limited value for learning, because it is far, far easier to copy someone else's drawing than it is to create our own original drawing, because we don't have to work out any of the creative thought processes. We don't have to look at the real object in the photo and translate it into marks on the paper. So it's much easier to get a nice drawing which in the moment can leave us feeling very satisfied, very accomplished. But then when we go to create an original drawing, we can still be thinking, I don't know where to start even. How can that be when I've just done this nice drawing? Well, it's because I haven't created this nice drawing. I've just copied it from someone else's drawing, and it's not the same thing. Having the reference that we can see that the artist is using gives us a really important key to start to work out the thought processes of the artist, even if they're not explicitly telling us in the voiceover of the video. And this is why I almost always draw from my own reference photos, so that I own them, I own the copyright on them, I can post them on my channel community page, I can let you see them really closely, I can let you screenshot them and print them off and have a go at doing your own version of that scene from the reference, not from my drawing. And in fact, I would strongly recommend that if you want to use my references, you don't try and draw along with me, but you watch my video and you take in the voiceover and understand the process and how I'm thinking and how that thinking translates onto paper. And then you turn the video off, get the same reference, and then create your own drawing and see how my process can be integrated into where your thought processes at that point are, and then how that works out in a drawing. Because in the end, it's not about copying my marks, it's about learning the way to think so that you can produce your own marks with anything you see, whether I've drawn it or not. I touched on this next point in the last point, but if I'm wanting to learn to draw, it's really important to watch videos that emphasize the drawing process, on learning the drawing process, rather than videos that have an emphasis on having a drawing at the end, because it is far easier to copy along. And if the place I want to end up at in my drawing journey is to be able to copy other people's drawings well, then these videos are fine to watch. But if the place I want to end up in is being able to create my own original drawings from reference, from my imagination, from a scene in front of me, then I will not learn the skills, the key skills I need to be able to do that by watching videos that encourage me simply to copy along with them. The issues that artists face in drawing are not always strictly concerned with pen on the paper. There are many things that impact our ability to draw and to draw well and to learn that occur before we get anywhere near a pen or a pencil in our hand. Issues of insecurity, issues of worth, issues of perfectionism, procrastination. These are all issues that can seriously impact, delay, or even totally derail our drawing journey. And so helpful videos are going to be videos that at times touch on these matters. In fact, for some of us, these may be the key reasons we're not drawing, we're not producing art. When we have 30 years where we think of creatively producing some sort of artwork every day and never do it, there are very important reasons that we need to come to understand and work through and keep pushing through even when we do start to draw. Another important point, if I'm watching videos to learn to draw, is to avoid videos that really are just an advertisement or clickbait for a paid sign-up course. And while there's nothing wrong with artists making money out of their skills and making money out of courses, it's not going to be very productive for me as a student if videos I'm watching that I think are going to teach me something end up just repeating the same few very basic things that I've already heard 100 times already over and over again, and frustrate me with this tantalizing dangle of the secrets that are behind the paywall. I need to find videos that, for a given topic, start where they need to start and end right at the end. That teach me the whole process, because in the end it's a waste of my time to be watching videos that just teach me the beginning 20% of everything over and over again, but never take me through to the end so that I develop the skills, both the thinking skills and the technical skills that I need to create the drawings that I see others do and that I feel I have inside me. I think another important consideration in choosing which videos are going to be the most helpful is to choose a teacher who has a depth of catalogue in their YouTube video selection. Because once I find a teacher whose way of thinking and an artist whose way of drawing aligns with either where I think I am or where I believe I'm wanting to go, then it's good not to chop and change too much, because we only have so much capacity to develop creative thinking processes in our head. And what we want to do is to go deep in certain ways of thinking and develop creative thoughts consistently and deeply in certain ways. And if we're jumping from both different learning techniques and frameworks and different drawing techniques and frameworks as we jump from teacher to teacher, then that's going to slow us down. A few different teachers who each have a wide range of video subjects that are going to be helpful for where we want to end up is going to be the best way ahead to fast track and increase our creative improvement. If I can sum all of these up in one point, I would probably say the best teaching videos to watch if we're wanting to learn to draw is to watch videos that are made by someone who is both a teacher, who has learned what the learning process is, as well as someone who is an artist, who has used those processes to explore and develop and expand and have some measure of success in their drawing ability. Because the videos they produce are going to give us the best chance of finding all the information that we need in the way that we need it, that will encourage us in the way we need to be encouraged, to practice in the way we need to practice, to end up in the end place that we want to be with the artworks we produce. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Look, obviously I hope all my videos tick all of these boxes. And I know from the comments that for some of you, the way I think and the way I draw is very helpful for your drawing journey. But look, whoever's videos you watch and whatever you end up drawing and however you end up drawing it, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.